Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Francisco. Welcome.
Which you know, if you listen every week. I don't know if we're acquiring that many new listeners week over week.
I think so. I think the voice is spreading like wildfire.
It's so funny when I love running into people that listen to the podcast because there are some of you out there, and I think they all come to my Fitish workout event. So they come up to me and they're like, love the podcast. I get a lot of comments like that lately.
I don't know why. Like, I get a lot of DMs. Like, I feel like I'm in suicide watch. Like, it's like, hey, Fran, are you okay?
Shut the fuck up.
Like, it's like, I'm dealing with that. Don't worry.
Pull it up then.
I have too much to...
Let me see. Pull it up. Let's go through your DMs, Fran. This is fun. I'm glad you brought it up. What a great opportunity to publicly go through your DMs. This wasn't even on the show's agenda today. Aren't y'all lucky?
Any excuse.
Let me see. Hand it over.
Just looking for a lover.
I'm sorry, what? I want you to, hand over. Let me just freely read your DMs. This could be fun for the show, right? Oh, you're actually letting me do it?
Oh, that one.
It's, which one? Not which one?
Is the one.
Oh. Oh, that's nice. Okay,
Yeah.
wow. But first of all, I love that you just handed me your phone. Actually, this is funny. It is all women, y'all reaching out to Fran to be a shoulder to cry on. Look at you. Hold on, and we're not done. It's all women for the most part. I've only seen one message from a man.
I don't think we have a lot
like
of men
30.
following. Like,
no, I'm not really. I know are you getting so uncomfortable if I
No.
start really poking around?
I don't have anything to hide.
You don't, because you put him in another folder? No.
No, it's a different phone.
No, wait, let me read the one you were just, shut up. Where's the one that you were just showing me? Oh, so it's one. Yeah.
There was a couple. I erased them, but I just keep that one for...
I hope you're doing okay. Your last podcast was emotional for you both, but you sounded choked up. We all go through squabbles like that, but it still sucks. Yeah, someone came up to me this weekend and said, Jenna, you remind me so much of me and my partner. And I don't know how old her kid or kids are at this point. She's older than me, but she's like, when Fran starts rambling about his plans that he wants to move to Mexico and do stuff, just let him talk. Just let him, that's probably not going to come to fruition. Sometimes they just need to talk. You just need to let him talk. That was her advice. And I was like, you're right. But like, I think what happens, y'all, and what's hard, and
I want to meet her husband. I'm pretty sure we can start a support group.
see, you come in firing off shit like this. Like, you're the one that needs a support group. I think what has been hard in the past, we had a good conversation last night because we have had some moments lately of not getting along. And like, so much so that I said to Fran, like, if you don't help me out around the house more, like, it's going to end up being the end of our relationship. And Fran, no fucking kidding, looks at me and goes, oh no, like sarcastically, oh no, why? And I'm like,
I didn't
yourself.
say why.
Like, you went, oh no. But like, so condescendingly, so sarcastically.
I was actually worried. Like, it's like, oh no, how can that be the end of a relationship?
Oh, he lies. Just own it at least. Even the therapist that we had met with in the past was like, you can choose to be dismissive of your partner's issue. Oh no. And I'm like, can you just help me a little more around the house? So, yes, typical squabbles, and it's hard. And I think where y'all catch us very intimately when we go to record, and it's been interesting. Like, I thought it would be wonderful to record the podcast from the house. As you can tell, if you're watching on YouTube, I look like shit. I've been sitting behind this desk since 8 a.m. working this morning, and it's the afternoon now. Depending on when you're listening to this, we record, not usually just like a day or two before you hear the show. So you're getting very fresh versions of us, and often right leading up to the moment we start recording the podcast, it can get kind of heated. If I'm like, be here half an hour before so we can talk about what we want to talk about, and Mr. Talent rolls in at like 1 minute late, and I'm like setting up all the equipment, and that's what happened last week. So I was coming into the show really annoyed and really frustrated. And so I think that's hard because of course that's going to come out here and there. So,
how are you today?
I feel good today. I made a to-do list. I've been pretty productive. I organized the pantry this morning.
Amazing.
Did you see that?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, I noticed.
Yeah. I think but no, I'm doing good. I mean, I'm tired. I've just been tired in general lately, but I think that's like an everyday thing, I think Fran and I are trying to figure out how to communicate better with each other. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
See, so that's like it. That's you're not gonna like expand on
No,
that.
yeah.
Or go
So
into
I'm doing
detail.
great. Like a little of the same. Like I think saying tired is just like very
Old at this point,
yeah.
right?
So I'm just doing my normal, but I'm happy. Remy is great. We're doing good.
Yeah.
Your mom is here helping us, which is always amazing.
I saw a woman talking about this on social media yesterday, and it just really resonated with me. And for those of you that I know, so many of you that listen that have had children or are going through it right now, you're ahead of Francisco and I by years or by months or days. I think we get a lot of feedback from people that, you're really that we resonate with you because of our honesty about our issues. But something that I try, and maybe it's just pointless, and I was saying to Fran last night, like it's almost impossible to share. It's such a sick joke, right? That having kids is, in a way, because it's like the most wonderful thing ever, but yet there's so many things that you and your partner just, you're going to have to compromise on. You're not going to see eye to eye on. It's a whole new challenge thrown into the relationship. And for me, I think I've had a hard time expressing. And if you're expecting a child, right? I think what's most overwhelming for me has been the reality that, and I hope this might have been hard for me to take when I was pregnant, that it's not true that you're going to feel like yourself again. Like people will say, yeah, it gets so much better after like 8 weeks, right? Or some people say 12 weeks, or some people say make it through the first year. I wish someone had just looked at me and said, Jenna, honestly, like you're never going to feel like yourself again. It's like you're a new, different person with a new identity. And that has been really hard for me, being almost 40 years old, having a child with this identity I've been really confident and comfortable in for so many years of my life, that now I find a lot of my day when I'm not also like trying to make money and work is doing stuff around the house, right? Like cleaning and cooking and all those kind of like silent tasks that are really important. That for me, yes, I know that maybe I'm spoiled or lucky or whatever, but I didn't do as much of that, when I was working before I had a child. I would either let it be messy or I'd pay a maid once a week. And now we're not having a maid as frequently. And we've been talking about kind of like managing money better. And it's just hard because there's also like a lot of mess.
What was she today?
What? She's sick.
Oh, wow.
She's me.
She's mean?
She's me.
Well, how is she so mean?
Me.
Mean?
Me.
Oh.
Where is the maid today? The maid is me.
Oh, good.
Not mean. She's wonderful. She's sick.
What is she? Is everything okay? We need self-care package?
She's okay. She just said she wasn't feeling good, so she didn't want to come today. She's going to come next week.
Good.
So that means it's me today. That's the point. Okay, how about an email that we got following up from last week's show? Because we talked about sleep training, and a lot of you have a lot of feedback on that, of course. And it's all been really cool, actually. Everyone's been really great about it, whether you sleep train or not. So I'm glad to know we don't have a super judgmental audience, or at least you don't vocalize it as much, because that is something that Fran and I have had a really hard time. Well, we've been honest. We just don't agree on it, right? Cam wrote us and said, hey, Jenna and Fran, I was listening to the latest episode and something Fran said really stuck with me and compelled me to write regarding sleep training. When Fran said he simply couldn't because he, quote, has a heart. What? No. Jenna, you're so much more patient with this than I ever was. We have 3. We all sleep trained them much earlier than 12 months. And my husband was always fully on board. It was because he read the research and saw the obvious value, but also because he trusted that I knew what I was doing when I said, this is what we're going to do. It's literally teaching your child a lifelong skill. You're removing sleep crutches and teaching them to self-soothe. I won't drone on with the research, but it really comes down to teamwork for you guys. This is so small potatoes. This is nothing. I hate to say it, you already know, but parenting doesn't get much easier. It gets so much harder and the stakes get so much bigger, and Fran needs to mature a little and get some perspective. I know that's harsh, but come on. This is only the start for you guys with co-parenting, and it's quite frankly going to really suck if you aren't aligned on the bigger things. Good luck, Kimberly. Kimberly, this is the thing. To totally have Fran's back, A, because you're my partner, but I also live it with you every day and see where you're coming from. I think what I've matured and woken up to is like, things just can't be so black and white like ever anymore. And I try to tell Fran that too. Like, I really wanted to sleep train But at the end of the day, if your partner's not on board with something, it was like the whole circumcision thing for us. And that was really hard for me. Like I wanted to circumcise and you didn't. Unfortunately, there's like no compromise to be made on like cutting foreskin off a penis. Like you either do it or you don't do it. Like you can't like compromise and go halfway on that.
Yeah.
Trim it a little bit. But I'm trying to, it's hard, right? Like you just have to kind of choose your battles and you just have to kind of go with the flow. And so, yeah, so it has been hard for me. And I'm sure I'm frustrated about it because I know the effect it has on our relationship. I mean, you're like taking him to the guest room in the middle of the night.
Well, I'm thinking we can take it. I started taking it to the guest room so I didn't wake you up.
So last week after it, Fran was like, okay, I'm going to try it. So we have done it in portions. We just haven't successfully done it. So Fran will make it through the first round of crying. He goes back to sleep for a couple hours. And then at like 12 or 1 or 2 a.m., whatever time it is, Fran looked at me. This was like last weekend, I think. And you were like in the dark and you're like, sounds like he's being dismembered and someone's pouring lime juice on him. I'm going to go check it out. And I was like, okay, sweetie. Cause you just are like, it is so difficult. Fran cannot handle it. So like Fran is also my partner who I like chose to have a child with. So what am I going to do? Like tie him up? I don't wake him up when I hear Remy crying. I have the noise machine on. I hear it. As a mom, you always hear it. I stopped waking you up. I wanted to wake you up so we could like be in this together. But then I realized you were just going to run in there like the house was on fire. So I just stopped waking you up. And at some point you'll wake up when he gets really loud. And then I'll wake up again and you're like gone. You've abandoned me and you're in the guest bedroom with him in the middle of the night. So last night it was like, he's soaking wet. I mean, he had been crying for like 40 minutes. I thought we made it a pretty long time.
No, and he was going back to bed. He's really good at self-soothing. However, when it's when it's like minus 25 degrees outside and he's soaking wet, like there's a reason that boy he's smart.
He's not good at self-soothing, but you know what? This is what it is. And I just try to tell myself, relationships are a lot of work and having a child just makes it even more difficult, especially, you and I already had occasional communication issues and like balance of power issues, I'm sure. And so I don't know, we had a good conversation about it last night. And, I've tried to express to you, like, I get that I ask for stuff around the house, but I feel that, you sometimes interpret it as like, you don't do it. Like I'm framing it like you don't do anything around the house, but it's not that as much as it's like, we bought a home. There's more square footage. There's more to clean. I have more heavily invested in it because we own it and I'm proud of that and excited about it. So, yeah, of course I care more about the pantry and the trash and the stuff and the dishes, and so that's what I'm just asking for. Like, not that you don't do enough, but like I need more because as a partner, that would make me very happy.
I think that there's something that we complement each other very well. You looked at that plane and I looked more in the mechanical things. Like I make sure that the house mechanically works and things work. And if something's not, like I get it fixed. Maybe not immediately, sure, but
I see that. I just think that sometimes it's also about, that's like saying your partner asks for.
No.
It's like the love language
it's
conversation.
Valuable, absolutely. And we talked about it yesterday and I told you it was about to be a big effort to be more proactive in things that you care about.
Yeah. I think that's what's hard, right? It's like the love language conversation with men and women. We're so different. Your love language that we tend to show the love language that we want to receive. And that's not always what your partner wants. So it's just about trying to get on the same page about what each other desires. If you're like, we're not having enough sex, I want to have more sex. Okay, well, let's figure out how to have more sex. Let's like make it fun, make it interesting. Let's talk about what you desire and what you want. Like you just have to be open and honest about what you want more of, right? And I hope what you want more of is not motorcycles, but we're going to get to that here in a little bit on the show because for those of you that follow on social media.
I never want less.
You never want less motorcycles?
Nor motorcycles, nor sex.
You never want less.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to that point.
Yeah, that it's just like too much
like
sex and too
raw,
many motorcycles.
like bleeding.
Why don't you just fuck the motorcycle?
it is kind of hard, you know. It doesn't give you the feedback sexually that you will like. It'll give you a feedback in a different way, but sexually is not the best partner.
Not totally up your alley and what you're looking for.
No.
Yes. So Francisco had a little bit of a surprise for me last week, and that was really exciting for me. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit.
I just want to surprise you.
I swear, you watch Moana once and it becomes this like addiction for you. You're welcome.
I've been saying you're welcome way before your welcome started.
Really?
Yeah.
Before The Rock and Moana?
Yeah. It's not like I invented I didn't start saying califragilistic, whatever Mary Poppins said.
That just rolled off your tongue. That sounded beautiful. Could you say that again for everyone?
Yeah, it's califragilístico espiralidoso in Spanish. Califragilístico espiralidoso.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Exactly.
Is that English, what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I said it right. I haven't said that in a long time.
So you did good. You had a couple seconds practicing.
Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a while either.
That was a good movie.
The remake?
The remake, the new one, yeah.
Yeah, you watch a lot of TV with Remy.
Well, not a lot. During the weekends, I give him a little more of screen time. But the things that something I noticed during the weekdays.
Not a lot. Remy was going from Miss Rachel yesterday, watching TV until I think the Bengals game was over last night.
Well, no. That's why I said during the week. And yesterday I was gone half of the day. But during the week, I tried to keep his screen time very low. We actually like to play some music, classical music in the morning and play around. And there's a point where he just wants to watch Miss Rachel. And he watched Miss Rachel for an hour. Ish, maybe 2. All depends the time he wakes up. And he gets into his very learning toys that we have for him. We get to the learning activities.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how structured you are with him. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I almost don't believe
we have
it.
A schedule.
You have a schedule? Yeah.
Music at the beginning. They start with classical music. And we get to his scene, wake up, and we start playing a little bit. And then he's in between, like, things to do. So we watch Miss Rachel in the background. Yeah,
he's very close. I think he's on the precipice of walking. And I don't really know at what point when they're standing and holding on and cruising, how long it takes for them to actually start taking those steps, because he can kind of stand and take his arm off and stand there and then plop on his butt. So it's exciting, but it's funny with the developmental stuff because he's teething and he has all these teeth all of a sudden and he's a little bit fussy and he's, anytime they start to develop, and I always read, in case it makes you feel any better, and I'm sure y'all have read this, I don't come on here and pretend to be a parenting expert. I just like to share the stuff I've read with y'all, but they tend to kind of act up and have sleep disruptions and all of those things. You kind of go, oh yeah. And then they'll all of a sudden have a major developmental milestone. Like if they're going through a leap and you'll go, oh my God, that's what's going on. They're about to crawl or roll over or walk or, they'll clap.
It's just this, I'm
surprised you have not announced to everyone his new favorite thing to say lately. And I know it's kind of crazy because he actually talks a lot for an 11-month-old, but he's been finally saying
Papa.
Papa.
Yeah. Well, it's just amazing. Like, it's not about, I think I haven't been focusing a lot on that because we have heard it before, but it's a lot of things that encompass that. Like, not only Papa, he says bye-bye.
Yeah, he says bye-bye.
He says
bird. And ball.
He says califragilisticexpialidocious.
No.
No, but he says ball.
Surprise. He's going to talk our ears off probably, which really excites me. I'm going to tell myself even when he's annoying me that I'm just excited because I just want someone that talks to me a lot anyway, even if I'm annoyed, because I just don't have anyone that wants to talk to me enough. You don't talk to me enough.
Oh, I think we're going to be able to balance, take turns
What are you drinking, by the way? I saw you come in the room with your shaker. Are you having a Huel?
So I've been drinking Huel.
It's funny. I know you don't know to say if you've been eating or drinking when it's a full meal supplement, right?
It's like it really fills you up, makes you feel
like
good.
You eat a meal.
Yeah, like you eat a meal.
So this is the real intention behind Huel, though. That's what's great, you know? Yeah, Huel Black Edition is a high-protein, nutritionally complete meal in a convenient shake. And so this means it has everything your body needs in 2 scoops. So 27 essential vitamins and minerals and 40 grams of protein, which if you're like me and tried for one day to count your macros, you know how important it is to measure out that protein. No, I've been doing a lot better. I got us some groceries. I cooked food last night. I love shakes like this, this Huel one we've been having since, I don't know. I think they sent it to us around Thanksgiving. So you and I have gotten to dabble in it. And yeah, I really enjoy it. It just makes it so easy because I know that it's healthy. And for me, I've actually really struggled in the past to find good meal shakes that really kind of have all these ingredients and also don't have certain ingredients, because a lot of the stuff has a lot of garbage in it. You know, if you've ever tried different sorts of shakes, and most all the ones that are really popular have like a lot of lactose, and that's really difficult for me. I can't do it. So
like whey protein and stuff like that.
That's something that's specifically great for me. Yeah, it's vegan, naturally gluten-free, lactose-free, 0 artificial sweeteners, naturally flavored, has omega-3 and 6, GMO-free, has D2 and D3 vitamins, and it works out to about $2.50 per 400 calorie meal. And that shaker that Fran has, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to get that shaker for free along with a free t-shirt with your first order when you go to Huel, Huel, like fuel with an H, Huel.com/Fitish to claim your free t-shirt and shaker with that first order. But this is just so easy, especially days like today, Fran. Like I've been sitting there working all morning. It's so easy to go in there and just make a shake and not have to prepare food.
Just to add on a little bit, the taste is amazing. This one is the cinnamon roll, and it's so good. So it's not only a meal, it's a dessert.
It's a dessert. It's a treat.
It's just a whole thing. It encompasses everything your body needs, even dessert.
Yeah, sometimes I'll actually blend it with ice if I'm getting real fancy and I don't care about a few more calories. I'll throw some fruit in there as well. Or I'll make it with almond milk instead of water. I know, I'm so fancy. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, really good. Again, that's Huel.com/Fitish with that first order. You can get that shaker for free along with a t-shirt. Okay, so I'm going to set the stage here a little bit for y'all of what happened last week. And I think this story is lighthearted-ish and funny. But it does kind of go back into the fact of why y'all understand we have communication issues. When I ask Fran every day, like, what's on the agenda? What are you doing today? I just have some meetings. Okay, bye. Great. So I'm at the office. I'm about to have an important Zoom call. And so I'm like kind of dressed up and I'm walking to the back and I see a guy get out of this like giant, dirty 18-wheeler hauler. I don't know what you call that contraption, right? That he was driving. Flatbread.
Not bread.
No. I thought a flatbed's like a truck.
So it's 18-wheeler with a flatbed.
Okay. So huge. Basically like the contraption that you would see when they're loading like 30 cars, you know what I mean? You'll see like a brand of car, like someone's driving 30 cars across the country, right? So on the back of this is a truck that's so brown gray, you can't even see through the windows, a pickup truck, along with a trailer. And that thing is just fully dust covered, right? Almost like laughably so. And this guy's in a t-shirt. He's so nice, this truck driver. And he comes up to the door. I answer it along with one of the girls from my team. And I'm like, hey, can we help you? And he's like looking very confused, holding a clipboard. And he's like, yeah, I have a delivery of that for here. And I laughed like, oh, you have the wrong address, man. Like, that's not for us. Like, we're a skincare business. And he laughed. He's like, yeah, like, y'all don't look like you ordered this. I'm like, well, who's it to? Or did they put a contact number? And I look at his sheet. He shows it to me. I didn't see the contact number in the moment. Oh, clearly. But it says bike guy. And I'm like, yeah, bike guy's not here. There
Bike
was
guy.
something.
Who the fuck is bike guy?
So there's something in the back of my head that's like, this is fucking Fran. This isn't Fran. There's no way this is Fran. He would tell me. He's my partner. He's the father of my son. He would tell me if he's getting this dropped off in front of my place of business. So I go back to do this phone call because it's already about to start. And Victoria stays up there and he's like, I'm going to go call the number. So I'm walking back to do the phone call. I'm about to start this Zoom and I hear Victoria scream, it's Fran! The number he called was Fran's. So of course, then I'm like, ready to meet. It was kind of a serious meeting, like with people that I don't know very well. So I had to like be on, and then it lasts for like 45 minutes. So I can't even get resolution to this issue. And Danny and I are sitting there looking at each other, being like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. That's for Fran. Of course it is. So then of course we finish and Fran's up in the front and I'm like, you want to tell me what's going on? He like puts his finger up to my face and is like, I don't have time right now, but I will. And of course, that's terrible to not get a resolution to what's going on. I see you out there. I'm thinking, this isn't good. I mean, that truck, it is off the Breaking Bad set. Like, I was certain there was meth in there.
It was
dirty. It looked like what Walter and Jesse were like originally making meth in with their small business. I mean, I was terrified
well,
to
that's
go
a
in the back
starter
of
kit that they sent.
Yeah. I was terrified to go look in the back of that. So that much to my surprise, you're all dressed up. I walk around the back of it with you. It's so annoying because you're on your phone talking to someone else completely unrelated to the whole scenario. So you don't even like have time for me or the truck driver to explain what's going on. So then I just got annoyed and went back into my office. So y'all, it literally took me like hours to get to the real story of what was going on here. I still don't think I've been told the whole truth, but you open it up and there's two giant Harleys in the back of that trailer. That trailer's pretty cleared out other than cabinetry. I don't know if there's drugs in there. I'm still not really sure what's going on.
So
can you enlighten us and let us know what the deal is?
First of all, there's no drugs in there. Just for any law enforcement that could be listening to this podcast.
It's in front of our home, so that's wonderful for us.
So, one thing and another.
Just get to this is what's so annoying. No, none of us fucking know.
So none of us know. A client that we have had multiple deals together.
What kind of deals?
Real estate deals.
He's bought homes from you.
Real estate, yes. Real estate, not homes, commercial, other things. Mexico, US. So he called me like, hey, as you know, I have these couple things, and I know you're a huge bike guy. Do you want him? We can.
Bike guy.
So it's like, well, let's try to sell some. Let's try to keep some. We'll figure something out. Yeah. So I'd like just send it to Dallas, and this guy puts it in an 18-wheeler, send it here. And I was like, well, an 18-wheeler is not going to get into my home. It's not going to get into my office. It's going to get into Fitish office. So I knew it was coming in. And that morning I was about to tell Janet, like, hey, babe, by the way, you're going to see an 18-wheeler coming up in your at your office. Let me know when it's there. I'll swing by. Then I said, like, life doesn't give you enough surprises. It's going to be more fun.
With you? Life with you doesn't give me enough surprises?
Yeah.
So just don't at any point in time tell her.
So it wasn't more like, it was about to be the funny situation that you get there and there's a huge 18-wheeler with all this paraphernalia. But it didn't work out that great. It
smells sketchy.
Like that's what they say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans about surprising Jenna. So that's pretty much it.
That's your theory. Tell God about your plans about surprising Jenna to make him laugh. That's your adaptation of that.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's like we bought a home that just so you'll have a little bit, so I can paint a picture a little bit for you. Because those of you that have followed us for a while know that I'm like, if you come home with one more motorcycle, and then he does, and it's OJ's Bronco, and then it's like a motorcycle with a sidecar, like all that, haha, so funny. So the real gist is that Fran's like really good at buying and selling things online. And so it's kind of like his fun hobby, right? He makes some extra money because you're really good buying and selling watches. You have great contacts. So he'll buy and sell watches, and he buys and sells motorcycles. And I think you're good at getting a deal. You're good at knowing the market and doing it. So I don't have any issue with that. The problem, like right now, is that there are still a handful of boxes and Christmas decorations we need to put away. Your car is perfectly parked in the garage, along with 2 motorcycles, one that I don't think belongs to you that you're like holding hostage, right? And then this monstrosity is parked in the entire front part of our home. And I mean, it's at least like a couple 100 feet long from start to end.
Couple 100.
Yeah, it's like a yacht. It's like the trashiest version of a yacht. No, the truck's actually pretty cool. But then Brian's telling me, like, yeah, I think I'm going to keep the truck and park it where? You now are like the temporary owner of 4 motorcycles that I even know of. And I can't even park in front of our own house outside on the street. Y'all see the issue. So compromise. What's the compromise here?
Well, the next one is a smart car, so it's going to be tiny. So no worries. My next vehicle... Coming an 18-wheeler.
That wasn't the question. We're talking about your next vehicle. We're talking about at what point does the mother of your child get to park in the garage of the home that we purchased?
That's an excellent question. We're going to put it in the schedule. Let's make a plan. I'm aiming give and take soon. Sooner than later.
I want the truck. I want that gone this week. I mean, I don't care where it goes. I just don't want it in front or in back of our house. Okay, is that fair?
I cannot make that promise.
Why?
Because it's snowing, and it's icy.
Wouldn't you think I'd like to park inside?
You can get to park inside, absolutely.
And you'll park out on the street.
Yes, I don't mind. I really don't mind. I thought I go in and out the house less than you, so when I don't start forgetting shit, but. So that's why I thought you were more comfortable outside, because you just go out. You don't have to open 2 gates. You can stay inside. I don't mind. My car can stay outside. But I think the truck is going to stay there for a little longer than a week. I'm not going to say 3 weeks, but I'm going to say maybe 2.
If y'all want to call, file complaints, and get anything towed, I'm totally okay with that. It'll probably be me at some point. Call and file a complaint, and then the cop's going to come up to the front door and be like, I don't know what that's doing there.
Towing it is going to be pretty expensive.
I hope you sell it and make good money.
Yeah. But so that's the yeast.
The yeast.
The gist of it. And and yeah, like, I'm sorry it didn't surprise you. That surprise didn't sit well.
It's like when Fran means well, but I don't know if we told you all the story about my birthday. And, I had just had Remy a couple months prior to my birthday last year. And I just feel like you have such great intentions, but your surprises don't really hit the mark. And I feel like I try to advertise myself well to you. Like, this is what I want. This is who I am.
And that's what I do. And normally that doesn't never happen.
I don't want anything. And, or I'm like, just like, buy me a massage. And you're like, massage? Did you say party bus? I'm like, no, I said massage. A quiet night at home. Like, a party at a club? I'm like, no. On my birthday this last year, it was so funny how it played out, because I said to him, I was like, I want to go. There was like a new Italian restaurant that had opened. I was like, I want to go with like just maybe a couple of friends to dinner. That's it. Like, let's get a babysitter. I think actually, yeah, we had my mom around or something. Remy was still so little, and I just wasn't feeling great. It was like barely 2 months postpartum. I was like, low key. And then at the last minute, I was like, we didn't have a reservation there or something. And I was like, no, I was like, I just want to like go to a brewery or like have a beer and just see like a friend or two. I'm just not really in the mood. I want to wear like very casual, right? That's just what I said. And so, and when I told my friend that on the phone, I was like, would you be okay just like meeting up somewhere later and having a beer? And she's like, oh, so you didn't like the party bus? And I thought she was kidding. And then I talked to another friend who I was like, hey, like, I don't think we're going to do anything. And she's like, oh, so you didn't like the party bus? And I was like, whoa, 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 hold up a second. What happened here? Apparently you had arranged a party bus for two couples. One girl was pregnant.
Three couples.
Three couples. But one girl that was pregnant to go to the Star in Frisco?
So we were about to go to a really nice restaurant that they just opened near the Star in Frisco. And I was like, well, if we're going to be driving up there, let's make it fun. But yeah, no good deed.
And then you make me feel bad about it. Like I'm ungrateful when I'm like, I just had a baby. Like I literally, I think it would be cool if like a partner's like, all I want is to like go sit on a patio and have a beer. Like that's literally all I want. I don't want a cake. I don't want a song. I don't want balloons. I don't want anything. I just want to like go have a beer and get out of the house for an hour. And so then it turned into like a whole fight because then he's like upset that I didn't want to do it. And it was
I wasn't upset. It was just like sometimes I have a hard time planning things because it seems you think that you're very straightforward with what you want, but sometimes you bounce one side or another. And you were like, I want this nice restaurant reservation. And then you go, no, I want low key. So I actually had the nice restaurant reservation. And one of them couldn't make it at the time of the restaurant. So it's like, well, maybe she wants all of them to go. So I made the other reservation. And the party was just a mode of transportation.
Party bus just was like,
yeah, we weren't about to go through uptown in a party bus for 3 hours. It was just like, just a nice limo. You might as well
booked that car that you have to pedal as you drink beer. It's like my worst fucking nightmare. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
I already have it for your next birthday.
Where people are like pedaling around as they're drinking. Like, I don't want to pedal as I'm hanging out. Yeah. They have a blast on that thing though. Like whenever you see people, they're so turned up.
I'm just waiting for a guy to run them over.
That's a big contraption.
I know. Have you seen the people texting and driving?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad out there. Well, especially you get like 1/10 of an inch of ice on these streets. Well, let's bring Remy in for the show. He's smiling. Before we go, someone said have Remy on. I'm like, well, he doesn't really say a whole lot, but we can try. Come on, Remy. Come talk on the podcast for a second. Show everyone how smart you are. Can you say Papa? 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 Mama? Your first appearance isn't going well. Papa? Papa. You can't say anything? Can you say easy? Okay, so he's just you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So then we're in the phase where if you take something away from him, cry. Well, you could do good ASMR, yeah. As we're bragging on him, like he's saying so much and then he doesn't have a damn thing to say when he comes on. What a creep. Why is he breathing into the microphone like that?
Mama. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Remy. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.